Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel for probably the most prepped for video of the year for me. What I mean by this is it took me a long time to gather together all of the information in order to be prepared to film this video right now. So essentially, I had to look at all of my previous makeup inventories. I had to look at all of the products that I have either finished or decluttered so far this year. I had to bring together that information. I had to look at my goal makeup inventory and I had to try to come to some conclusions. So that is what we are talking about today. Every year, about halfway through the year, sometime in like June or July, at least in recent years, I have liked to do a video like this where I take a look at how things have gone so far in 2025. I calculate up how my makeup empties and declutters are doing, how I think they're going to go for the rest of the year, and I compare that to my goal inventory number. So if you don't know, I have been on this Project Pan, there's birds right there, / makeup low buy or no buy for years now because I have a dream. I have a goal in mind. I want to get to a point with my makeup inventory where I love everything in my collection and where it is my dream makeup collection, essentially. But I'm not doing that in an unsustainable way. So sure, I could just throw out all the makeup products that I don't absolutely love and then I could go out and buy all new products. But I don't think that would be, well, first of all, that's not very sustainable, but second of all, I don't think that that would be a long-term fix. That would just enable me to do that same thing whenever I was feeling discontent with my makeup collection. And so instead, I have taken years to slowly curate down my collection, figure out what I love, what I don't, and make very informed decisions about which products I am bringing into my collection. So I came up with a number a couple of years ago, which was 125. Essentially, that is the number of makeup products that I want in my makeup collection. And I have been getting closer and closer to that number, but it takes a while because I haven't been on a strict makeup no buy, which means that I do bring some products into my collection. It's not just a straight out number, right? There's in and there's out, there's push and pull. So that slows things down a little bit. And every year in December, I do an inventory where I count up all of the makeup in my collection. I go category by category. I talk about how I'm feeling about that category. So I will link to my most recent December updates. And let me pull up the numbers here. At the end of December in 2024, my total number of makeup products was 144.5. So that's about 20 makeup products off of my goal, which was pretty far because I felt like having a net negative of 20 products out over the course of 2025 was going to be very challenging. I'm happy to say that things are looking a lot better than I expected in 2025, and I feel like that goal might actually be in reach. Of course, it will take until the end of the year to know for sure, but I was super pessimistic. And I think it was that pessimism that actually helped me in 2025 because I ended up decluttering a whole bunch of products in January where I got really cutthroat. I was like, why am I holding on to this? It is keeping me from having my dream makeup collection. It is making me use these products that I don't like when I could be using other products that I do like. So I decluttered a whole bunch of products. Just to give some more numerical comparisons, in June 2024, so a year ago today, I had 147 makeup products. So you can see how I only went down 3 products between June and December, which obviously I was not happy about. So with all that preamble, let's talk about how many products I have in each category, what is my goal, how these numbers compare to last year, and how close I am to my makeup goal. So let's get into it. Let's go category by category. And as I mentioned, I did have to calculate up all of my makeup empties so far this year, all of my makeup declutters so far this year, but I honestly don't know if I want to tell you those numbers because I am planning to do an entirely separate video going through all those products and talking about the progress I've made, and especially because within just the past few weeks, I have had a number of makeup empties. Suffice it to say that I'm doing better than I was a few months ago. For a couple months there, my project pan updates were so underwhelming. I was like, no empties, minimal progress. Sorry, guys. But the last update, which I will link here, was a lot better. And even since that update, I have had multiple more makeup empties and an important declutter. So the numbers are looking good. And that is how I have gotten that overall number down, because just since December, I have gotten that number down by like almost 10. Okay, and I have brought some new products into my collection. Some of them were presents, some of them were purchases that I made myself for my bridal makeup trial. And so, yeah, I feel like it's pretty impressive that the number has gone down overall. But I'm doing too much preamble. I keep doing too much intro in videos. So let's just talk through each of the categories. We're gonna go face first and then eyes. So my primer collection is 0. Honestly, some lines in this spreadsheet I can probably delete entirely. Like I have a line for oil blotting sheets. I have no oil blotting sheets. I haven't for years, and I'm probably never going to purchase them again. I acknowledge that they're useful, but they're just not useful enough for me to purchase. And same with primer. Like I just can't be bothered. Honestly, funnily enough, I am wearing a primer sample today. It is the Milk Makeup Primer. I've owned it before, or I've tried samples before, and I didn't like it then. So I know for sure that I'm not planning to purchase it, but I just wanted to say that I do have primer on today. We will see. We will see if it holds up way better than I'm used to, but chances are no. I do have a wedding today, so that's why I wanted to use the primer sample that I already had. Okay, foundation. This number has fluctuated a bit because my mom keeps buying me foundations unprompted. Of the current ones I own, she got me 3 of them, 3 out of 5. I didn't ask for any of them. Now that I own them, I am grateful that I own them. 2 of them especially. The third one I have not even tried yet. But those 2, I'm like, damn, like it's good she got them for me, even though I didn't explicitly ask for them. So there is a new one that I haven't shown yet on camera because she got it for me recently. And then we've got my e.l.f. highlighty base, whatever you call it. Can never remember the name. Halo Glow. We've got my Fenty foundation, we've got my Dior Air Flash, and my Unleasha, and then a new one, which will appear at some point, I am sure. So I've got 5 foundations. I do think that this is too many. I think my good spot for me would probably be around 3, because then I could have a range of light coverage, heavy coverage, and different shades. Because my darkest shade one, which is the Unleasha, and my lightest shade one, which is, well, honestly, the Fenty one is light too, but the Dior Air Flash, I mix them together to come up with the right shade on my skin, just depending on what time it is in the year. So yeah, I think 3 would enable me to have more of a range, but even 4 would be good. 5 is too many. So who knows, maybe I will end up decluttering that new one my mom got me recently, because it just doesn't fill a need in my collection. I'm not sure yet. So it's too many, but I'm not like freaking out about it. You know, it's funny because I used to want only 1 foundation. Like my notes from previous years, I had 1 and I was like, yes, correct number. Now 1 doesn't seem like enough foundations. So I'm upping that to 3, ideally. And then we've got concealer. Now, I used to think 1 or 2 concealers was the right number. Now, 1 doesn't feel like enough. Now that I have 2, I have 1 very light coverage one and 1 that is heavier coverage. And I'm really glad to have that variety, because when I'm doing just like a very light face of makeup, I will reach for the lighter one. That is my NYX. Y'all, I'm so bad at makeup names, but like, you know, the NYX one that everyone loves and owns. That was very light coverage. And then I have another NYX one, which is thicker coverage, and that one is great for baking. It's what I'm wearing today because, as I mentioned, I have a wedding, so I did want to be quite bright and I want it to last a long time. So I'm glad to have the variety. I think even 3 would probably be okay, but 2 is a happy medium. I'm really glad with that number right now. And then we've got cream bronzers, and I currently have 2. In June last year, I also had 2 because I had 1 from Illamasqua that my friend had decluttered to me, and I didn't love it. So I was just like finishing it up. And then I've got the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Light wand, which I used to love. Now that I have something to compare it to, I don't love it as much. So that one I am trying to pan. And then I have, which I recently purchased, the NYX stick bronzer, stick contour, which I love. That is what I'm wearing today. Can you tell? I mean, this line is a little bit too harsh, but you know, I will obviously touch up my makeup before I go out, and it's kind of better to have a more intense look on camera. So 2 is a good number. I think when I finish that e.l.f. one and I go down to 1, I will be happy with that number, but I think I could also be happy with having a second one in my collection. Like maybe one day I would purchase an extra one. I think cream and liquid I would consider in the same category. I've been hearing a lot about the Makeup Bar Mario liquid bronzer, so maybe one day I would purchase that one. But yeah, 2, happy. And then we've got powder bronzer. Now I have one powder bronzer and one like face duo, which has a powder contour shade and a highlight, but I basically just count this as a powder bronzer, which maybe should be recategorized, but whatever. I have come to really appreciate my powder bronzer. I never used to reach for it, but since learning to bake, that product has really come in handy. I am wearing it today, and I now like it more than the contour shade, whereas I used to like the Kevyn Aucoin contour shade better. Yeah, I don't see the number changing anytime soon. If anything, maybe I would be okay with having 3 instead of 2, because again, one is bronzer, one is contour. They are a little bit different, but yeah, 2, great number for me, and either of them would take years and years and years to pan, so I cannot see this number changing anytime soon. Next, we've got powder blush. So the number that I have right now is the same number as December 2024 and as June 2024. But if you've watched all my videos, you know that I did bring in a new powder bronzer somewhat recently. This is the Too Faced purple one. I still haven't tried it yet. I need to do that this summer. I know my makeup brain has been elsewhere. So that means that I have actually decluttered one of my other bronzers in order to keep that number. I mean, I didn't declutter it in order to keep the number the same, but I knew that I had too many blushes and I was not succeeding with decluttering them this year. 2024, I decluttered so many blushes, and so far this year, none of them. And I really need to. So I succeeded with one of them, which I'm really happy about. And if we look back on previous years, I used to have 9 and now I have 7. So great job, me. I definitely have more cream blushes now, so it's not like my overall number of blushes has gone down, but I'm still happy about that because my preferences have changed. I do in some ways prefer cream blush now, and so I'm glad that my collection is responding to those numbers. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, my goals for years have been 7 to 10 blushes, and I'm on the low end of that, so that is great. Okay, we move on to cream blush. Now, looking back on previous years is so funny because this number has changed a lot. In 2023, I had 4 cream blush. That's actually more than I thought. I think because 2 of them were the milk blushes, which I didn't love. Finished those off, and now I have 6. My numbers have gone between 3 and 4, but they increased. Now I have 6. That's actually so many. Let's see if I can name them all. Okay, we've got the NYX stick one. That is the one I've had the longest. We've got the red Glossier Cloud Paint. My mom gifted me 2 Milani ones, which I also have not used yet. And then we've got an Hourglass lip product that I have changed into a blush. I was gonna declutter it because I really didn't like the shade as a lip product. And then I tried it as a blush and I was like, oh, this is perfect. So technically it's not a blush, but it has been categorized in my blush section. So I have 3 cream blushes. My goal used to be 3 to 4. I feel like I should change that goal because that just doesn't feel correct anymore. Like my preferences have changed, as I mentioned. I even feel like 7 to 10 powder blushes is too many. Like I can reduce that number to a goal of like 5 or 6 rather than 7 to 10, and then I can up my cream blush goal. So we'll think about that for next time, maybe. Face palettes. Okay, so this number has not changed since December 2024. I thought that I would declutter my Hourglass plush palette, but I haven't managed to do that yet. So I've got that one. And then I've got my 2 Jason Wu blush trios. Technically, I also have that duo that I mentioned, the Kevyn Aucoin contour and highlight. But I think I'm going to keep it as is because I really don't use that highlight. I just don't. So yeah, 3 face palettes. That is the same as December. June 2024, I had 4, so we have gone down. So I'm happy with that. And my goals, at least in 2023, were 3. So that number is great. I don't know why there's so much outside noise. Like I closed up the window. Anyways, as I'm going through these numbers and my goals, I'm thinking that I should actually update my makeup collection goals because it makes sense. The goals that I set were in late 2024. That's a year and a half ago. My preferences have changed. Like, obviously, I prefer cream blushes now to powder blushes, all that sort of stuff. So maybe I'll do a separate video where I actually break down my goals and figure out not just the overall number of makeup products that I would like in my collection, but also how that breaks out, how that breaks down per category. I think that would be fun, sort of figuring that out on camera. Okay, next category, face powder. So I currently have 3. This number has not changed. Man, I've had 3 like going back as long as I've counted, which admittedly hasn't been that long, but late 2022 was when I started counting up the products in my collection. So we're at 2.5 years of having the same products, not even just the same number, but like the same products in my collection. We are about to change that because my MAC powder, that is going to be done. I'm not sure when, for sure by the end of the year, hopefully by the end of the summer. So we are soon going to go down to 2 powders. So yeah, wild to think about. And I think I've realized that I do want at least 2 in this category, which is what my goals used to be, because I want 1 pressed powder and 1 loose powder. I used to never ever reach for loose powders, so I was like, I don't really get the point of having this. It's just a bit more cumbersome. Product gets everywhere. But now that I'm baking my makeup on a semi-regular basis, you've got to have loose powder for that. So I always want to have 2 in this category. So it'll be at 2 soon, but not yet. We're still at 3. Next, we've got cream/liquid highlight. My goal is 1 to 2, and I currently have 1, and I have had 1, again, since I started counting. It's been 1 the whole time, and it's been the same one. It has been the Merit Cream Highlight Stick, which I have loved and which has lasted eons. I depotted the remainder of the product into like a little pot, and I think I did that like 5 months ago, something like that, and it looks like it has barely been used, even though I use it every single time that I do makeup, so at least 4 times a week. Wild. But I'm happy with that because I only want 1 product in this category, and this saves me from making the decision about if I should purchase another one and which one I should purchase. So I'm still happy because I love this product. Next, we've got powder highlight, and this number actually increased from last year. So it looks like my numbers have hovered between 2.5, 3, and 3.5, and I currently have 3 because I was gifted a new powder highlight by my mom. The Annabelle one, I did actually try it out in a video in like a get ready with me, and I really liked it, but I've only used it a couple times since then because I'm really trying to finish off my MAC highlight, which has been in my project pan all year so far. And the reason it's 0.5 is because that MAC highlight, it broke years ago, and so I took the like broken pieces and put it into a little container, and that's what I'm trying to finish off. So it's definitely only 1 product, but because it's in 2 different containers, I've just been counting it as 2 products. But when I finish it, then it'll be 3. And I will still have more of that product to finish in the like actual container that it's in. It's lasted so long, too long, but I still enjoy it. So that's something. So yes, 3.5. I think this is too many. 2 or 3 would probably be sufficient for me. Mascaras. Okay, I had to do an educated guess in this because I have so many mascaras, and I calculated it based on how many I had in December 2024, and then I factored in the fact that I gifted one of the mascaras, like one of the unopened ones, to my sister, and I finished one, like I panned one. So I had 23, and now I think I have 21, which I was actually shocked by how low those numbers were. I was not aware how close I was to getting under 20. If we look back at these numbers, again, the numbers only go as far back as end of 2022, so it was much worse before that. I remember the first time that I counted all my mascaras, I had 40 mascaras, so, you know, we're halfway down. I had 27 at the end of 2022, and now I have 21. So that's slow progress. Keep in mind that I have added some new ones to my collection over the years. The number hasn't just gone down, it's also, you know, gone up a little bit, so it would be even lower if I hadn't accepted those products. But 21, really happy about that. You might not think I am, but I am. That feels like a doable number. And I can even tell that some of these are going to be done by the end of this year. I think I'm going to be down to 19 by the end of 2025, if all goes to plan. We'll see. We are into the eye products. All of the rest of this stuff, other than the lip category, is eyes. So I'll try to go through this a little bit quicker. Brow gel, I have one. I have my MAC one. It's gonna last me until the 22nd century. I don't even think I'm joking. That thing will never be done, probably. I don't know if it's pannable. I don't know if it's possible. Eyebrow pencils, I have 2. I have one Annabelle one that I love, and then I have another one that I haven't even opened yet. It's in my backup makeup bag because I'm not going to start it until I finish that Annabelle one. And I am not actively trying to pan the Annabelle one. I am actively trying to pan the MAC one, which is unpannable. So that backup will remain a backup for years to come. Sorry, what I meant by brow gel was eyebrow cream gel, like the potted one. That's the MAC one. In terms of brow gel, I have one. This is one that I purchased recently, actually. This is the like elf, you know, the little pot. Maybe this is also considered a cream gel, but I'm considering it just a brow gel because of the way I use it. Like I comb it through my brows rather than like filling them in. So to me, that's what differentiates it. And I have historically had 2 in this category, but then December 2024, I went down to 1, and now we are still at 1. Yeah, that's the only one I have, and I'm very happy with it. I would actually love to try another one of these like intense hold brow gels that comes in like a tube like this rather than a potted thing, but no time soon because I've got more than enough brow products for the time being. Cream colored eyeliner. Some of these things were hard to categorize. The cream colored eyeliner, I have a NYX one, and then I have a Revlon one, which is technically double-ended, but I don't use the other end. I just use the cream side. So I'm gonna say 2 in this category. I'm just gonna say that the Revlon one, because I only use it as the cream side, that just counts as a regular cream colored eyeliner. Other colored eyeliner, I have 3. So I have a light green Pacifica one, I've got a red ColourPop one, and I've got a NYX burgundy one. The NYX one is actually a lip liner that I have recategorized as a liner. Glitter eyeliner, 0. I haven't had one for years. This is one of those things that like I should probably just remove because I'm never planning to purchase a glitter eyeliner again, but it is in the spreadsheet because it's like leftover from years when I did have a glitter eyeliner. Same with eyelash primer. I do not have any. I have tried a few in my day. I used to have one. I even had like double-ended mascaras where one side was the lash primer and the other was the mascara, but I found that just having a really good mascara makes a lash primer redundant. So I have 0 and I'm not planning to purchase any. Lid primer. This number has finally reduced. I had 4 for quite a few years, went down to 2, went up to 3, and now we are at 1. Yes, I'm so thrilled. I decluttered my NYX glitter lid primer because I never used it, and I actually found it less effective than using just a regular lid primer. And then I panned my Urban Decay lid primer, finally. That thing was a mini and it took years. Now all I have is my MAC potted Painterly paint pot. I only have one in this category, which feels like not enough, you know? It's weird that like I don't have choice. If I want to use a lid primer, then I have to use that one. But I actually do have choice because I have some potted cream eyeshadow pots and they actually work as a base. Now they are both sparkly, so I can only use them on days when I'm wearing sparkles on my lid, but they both work very, very well as lid primers. They really lock into place. But technically, I only have one in that category. Eyeshadow palettes. So I have the same number as I did in December 2024, and that number is 13. This feels like too many to me. I don't want to have more than 12, and in fact, my originally set goal was 10. 10 sounds like a great number of eyeshadow palettes, but I have had a really tough time decluttering them this year. I specifically started an eyeshadow roulette where every month I focus on a different eyeshadow palette because I wanted to declutter some of those palettes, but I have decluttered 0 so far. All of them have stayed in my collection, which I'm not thrilled about, but I really don't know how to get myself to declutter them. I do have an update on that coming soon, but as I'm saying now, yeah, no big updates because none of them have been decluttered. So I have 13 because I was gifted one, I think in late 2024, and then one was decluttered to me by a friend. So June 2024, I had 11, but in December, and then now June 2025, I have 13. So not super happy with that number, but yeah, that's really the only category that I've had trouble decluttering so far this year, other than blush, as I mentioned, but I have decluttered one blush at least, so that's something. The next category, which is not something irrelevant, but I'm not entirely sure if it should count as a makeup product. You guys let me know what you think, is the lip conditioning / scrub category. I have 2 of these from Lush, and honestly, I don't use lip scrub that much. It's just when my lips feel like super, super dry and I really need to exfoliate them, which is like, I don't know, like 5 times a year. You know, like 5 times a winter, and then doesn't happen in the summer. So like I don't particularly need them, but who's gonna want a lip scrub, you know? And also I don't know if this should be a category because it's not makeup. Like lip balm to me is different because you can use lip balm in combination with like a lip liner or a lipstick to change the look. You can use lip balm as just lip balm, as just like medicinal, but you can also use it as part of your makeup. Lip scrub, you can't. So I'm dubious about this category, but because I've included it in previous years, I feel like it's only fair to include it now. Eyebrow kit, what I mean is like a brow duo, essentially. I have 2 of these. I have one from NYX, one from e.l.f. The e.l.f. one, I should probably either declutter or declutter the cream side, like scoop out the cream product in there because it's way too old and it smells funky. But I don't think it's the whole duo that smells funky. I think it's just the cream side. Like I think the powder one is fine. Anyways, this number, it hasn't changed because both of these are so old. I mean, actually it used to be 3, so it's changed since December 2023, but not since then. Eyeshadow duos / quads. So technically I have 0, but I have this Fenty duo, which is supposed to be a highlight, but which I use as eyeshadow because it's just too deep for me as highlight. I haven't used it in a long time. I think if I ever did a project pan that was focusing specifically on neglected products or like my least used products, this would be pulled into it. I need to do that this summer because I feel like it would make a really nice summer look. Just like very, very basic makeup, some mascara, maybe a hint of like black liner, and then the Fenty Sparkle. So pretty and so simple. But yeah, just the one. Setting sprays, this number has actually gone up since last year. I have 2. I have a little MAC one, and then I have the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. And I now see the usefulness of them, and it might just be like in my head. What do you call it when something isn't real, but like you've convinced yourself it is? Anyways, when I need to touch up my makeup, if I've gone like a full day wearing makeup and then in the evening I need to touch it up, I have heard that it's good to spray, not a setting spray, but like, what is it called? This one, Fix Plus, all over your face to sort of like loosen up the makeup, and then you can start adding more layers, or you can start blotting with a sponge. And I find that it works. Like it actually makes the makeup meld better, rather than if I were just to start adding more layers on top. It could look a bit cakey, but spraying this first and sort of wettening everything up makes the new makeup mix better with the old makeup. So I'm really enjoying this. And then my Urban Decay setting spray, I have just gotten in the habit of using it every single time that I wear makeup. So I don't know if I feel like it makes it last better, but at least it feels useful because I'm using it every day, you know? So yeah, this is 2, and June last year I was at 1, but I'm happy to have it be 2. Even though I used to think 1 was enough, I'm happy that they're 2 different kinds of sprays now. Eyeshadow singles, this number has gone down since June last year, and even more so from the year before. So it used to be 10, and I had my goal at 7 to 10 single eyeshadows, but now I have 6. And even that feels like a lot for me, because reaching for a single eyeshadow is hard. Because I rarely do an eyeshadow look that is just one shade. If I want to do that, then I will reach for one of these single eyeshadows. But usually I will be doing multiple shades, so it makes sense to have a palette. And sure, I could use a palette and a single eyeshadow, but why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just use all the colors in the palette, you know? So anyways, 6 already feels like too many, even though that is lower than my previous goal. So this is another area of my collection that I need to like rejig my number of goals, but I'm happy that it's at 6 because this is the most manageable the number has ever been. It used to be as high as 13. That's more than double. That's too many. No wonder I decluttered all those. I sure wasn't panning them. The additional ones all got decluttered. Okay, eyeshadow paint pots. Now this is currently at 2 because it is my Revlon paint pots. These are the ones that I mentioned could serve as like eyeshadow bases or like lid primers. I really like both of them as lid primers, at least. Only one of them I actually like the shade of. The other I would not wear by itself, but again, it works as a good base. It was 3 in December 2024, and then I decluttered one of them in January, so I'm happy we're down to 2. I think this number is going to stay steady for quite a while. Eyeshadow sticks. I have 2. What's the second one? I've got this green one that I love, but it is hard to use. Like, I can't wear it with other shadows, and you really need to feel a particular way to be wearing a full lime green eyeshadow look. Of course, I do it, but I need to have pre-planned it, and it needs to be the right occasion. Like, I'm not going to wear that to the wedding tonight, you know? And I'm not going to wear it if I'm wearing very minimal makeup. It needs to be like a full face type of situation. But what is the second one? Oh yes, I have this, I can't remember the brand, but I have one other one that I never reach for. That is another one that would go in the neglected project pan, and I should just declutter it, but I haven't. So yeah, I have 2, but I should have 1. Double-ended eyeliner. So I have 2 of these. I used to have 5. 2 of them I panned, and then I think I decluttered one. But these are the Urban Decay double-ended liners, which I really enjoy, but I've had them for a long time, so I have been trying to pan them. I think one day I would like to have 0. Like, my goal would be none, just because I would rather an eyeliner stand on its own. I mean, sure, if I love both of the shades, then great, but I think that's kind of unlikely. So yeah, I would rather this number be 0. Liquid eyeliner / potted eyeliners. I currently have 1. I have had one for a long time now. It's just the KVD simple black liner. I would also like to try the Fenty Fly Liner in a brown shade, because I do not currently have any brown eyeliners. But yeah, 1 is fine for now. Black pencil liners. 3. Would you believe that? That seems like such a low number. Now keep in mind, it's not just 3. I also have the Urban Decay double-ended ones plus these 3. But still, I'm really happy that that number is down to 3, because at the end of 2022, I had 9. 3 times as many. And then I did a big eyeliner declutter. I think it was at the beginning of 2024. And so I managed to declutter, yeah, all the extra ones, because like you don't need that many. You really only need 1 or 2 good black liners and you're set. Those are the ones that you are going to reach for, because why would you ever reach for a bad black liner? That's something that, like, if it's bad, it's going to ruin your whole look, because it's going to like get everywhere. It's not going to be a super straight or sharp line. It's going to smudge, it's going to flake, whatever. So yeah, I have 3 brown pencil liners, 0. I recently finished the one that I had in my collection through my project pan, through years of project panning. Thrilled about that, but realistically I would like to have 1. So at some point I will be buying a new brown liner, because it's kind of weird to only have black, you know? Purple liner, 0. This is another one that I can remove the category because I'm never gonna buy purple eyeliner again. Burgundy and red is different to me, but like a deep purple is just not my vibe anymore. I used to love purple eyeliner, not anymore. Okay, we have made it into the lip category, and this is the section of my makeup that is the most out of hand and that I have specifically focused project pans on because it is so big. And it's not even valid. Like my mascaras, that's valid. It is valid to have that many mascaras because I love mascaras and because my name is Lara Likes Mascara. But lip products, I'm not even a huge lip product person, so I do not need 40 lip products. 40 was how many I had last year. Let's see if we've gotten that number down at all. And I think we have, because I panned quite a few lip products in 2024 and I have already decluttered a number of lip products so far in 2025 through my lipstick project pan. I will link that here. This is the 2nd year in a row that I'm doing a lipstick project pan where I specifically focus on lip products. Maybe 3rd. Is it my 3rd? I think it's my 3rd year in a row doing a lipstick project pan. My 1st year, I focused on pink lip products, like hot pink. 2nd year, focused on red lip products. And 3rd year, this year, I'm focusing on deep lip products. Now, I'm finding this 3rd year the hardest one because deep shades, dark purples, black lip products, those are just a lot harder to pull off or like to wear in a casual outing than a pink or a red. So we're working on it. None have been panned yet, but some have been decluttered. So lipsticks, like just regular bullet lipsticks, I've got 9. 9. Oh my God, we started with 30. 2022, I had 30 and now I have less than a third of that number. Now, part of me is wondering if I have recategorized some of those lipsticks because 30 just sounds like a lot. Now, I don't doubt that I had 30 lip products, but 30 bullet lipsticks? Like, did I ever really have that many? I need to go back and rewatch my 2022-2023 inventories because that just sounds so outlandish right now. But yeah, I said December 2024, I had 42 lip products. Wild. How many do I have right now? Let me just count up the categories before I tell you them. 35. I went from 42 to 35 in 6 months. That is so impressive. Patting myself on the back, honestly, I think that was mostly declutters because I think I've panned 2 lip products since the beginning of the year. Anyways, getting back to the categories, I have 9 bullet lipsticks, like these type of things. Not all these are bullet lipsticks, but you know what I mean. Like this type. 9 is still a lot, but it's under 10, so I'm happy with that. And my goal is actually 15. But I made that goal again years ago, so I need to adjust because I think 15 lipsticks is just too many when I consider the fact that I mostly don't use lipsticks. I use like other types of lip products. Next category is stick lip balm. I believe I only have 1. Not positive about this though because I recently panned 2 and I somewhat recently was gifted a new one. And I think that should go with this whole inventory. Like, it might not be 100% accurate. I might have forgotten 1 or 2 products out of the whole thing, but I still think that it's accurate compared to previous years because I think every year that's the situation where there's going to be 1 or 2 products that are just hiding somewhere and I was not able to count up or I forgot about it or it was newly given to me or purchased by me and I forgot to count it. So we're just assuming that these numbers are as accurate as possible for myself. Okay, lip glosses. I have 3 and I am happy with that number. Originally, my goal was 1 to 2. This was back before the boom, the craze for lip glosses. So then I had 2, then I had 3, then I had 5, and I was like, this is too many. My goals are 2 to 3, and then I had 4, and now I currently have 3. So I did pan 2 of those within the past year. I panned my Tower 28 one, and I panned my Tula lip gloss. Is that what it's called? So I only have 3, and I am happy with that number. I don't want to have more. 3 is even, like, I think I would be happy with 2, but I'm going to say I'm happy with 3. Lip liners. Okay, so the largest number that I can see going back previous years was 12. Then I set my goal as 5 to 10. My numbers went down to 10, 6, 8, 10, and 9. 9 does sound like a lot to me, especially considering I know that most of those lip liners I don't use. There's 3 that right away I'm like, these are my favorite lip liners. My 2 e.l.f. ones and my NYX one, because these are all like neutrally brown colors. In fact, I'm wearing one of the e.l.f. ones today. And yeah, these are like my go-to lip liners. The other ones, for the most part, are all like deeper shades, which are just, again, a lot harder to pull off. I'm still struggling with the dark lip thing. But yeah, I have a bunch of lip liners that I don't use, and I should change that goal. Not from 5 to 10, like maybe 5 to 7 or 8. Getting down to the final categories, liquid lipsticks. Now, as you can imagine, this number has gone up and down and up and down, and I really want to have fewer than I do right now, but I'm currently sitting at 6, which is better than it has been in the past. It got all the way up to 10, then 8. Now I have 6 because I decluttered my remaining ColourPop one and one of the NYX ones that I don't like the shade of. So I have 6. Again, it's still too many. I really only like 1 or 2 of my liquid lipsticks, but the number is very slowly going down. And yeah, I don't think it's realistic to expect myself to declutter all of them. Like, some of them are just colors that are for very specific occasions, like Halloween or whatever. It is what it is. It's going down, and that's what's important. And then uncategorized lip products, I had as many as 12 at one point, and then I went down to 5 and then 7. So I think I changed like how I categorize things, but now I am sitting at 6, which is a good number. Again, it's just random stuff that I don't know how to categorize. For example, this Lancome one, I guess I could count it as a liquid lipstick, but it's just, you know, it's not. Like, this is not a liquid lipstick to me. And then this L'Oreal one, kind of like a lip gloss, but performs more like a lipstick. So yeah, it's just random products like that I don't know how else to categorize, but I've got 6 of those, and at least it's lower than it used to be. And then I even have one more category for other misc lip things like potted products, and I currently have 0 because this is the one that I had remaining, and I finished it very recently, so I'm thrilled about that. I can effectively remove that category. And then lastly, we've got unopened lip things because this is one of those categories where I just always have backups. I had 2 in the past, and now I just have 1. And it's actually, if you're familiar with my Jason Wu liquid lipstick, which is my favorite liquid lipstick, and I think that that's the kind of formula that all liquid lipsticks should be, otherwise they should not exist. Like, it just, beautiful color, beautiful staying and coverage, and it actually like lasts and it fades well. She got me, for whatever reason, 2 of those, like same shade, same product. So I just have a backup of that one. So only 1 in that category. That's everything. Let me just do another quick count. Okay, final number, 136.5 makeup products. This is down from December 2024 when I had 144.5, and it is down from June 2024, 1 year ago, when I had 147.5. So we're already down 10 total products from a year ago, so that's great. The question is if we can get down another 10 total products over the course of 6 months. it's doable, but I think it will be challenging because, you know, it took 12 months to get down 10. So is it going to take another 12 months to get down another 10? It's tough to know. I'm not super optimistic about decluttering because other than my big declutter in January where I was super cutthroat, I have not decluttered a ton of makeup products this year. So I don't know if I'm going to be seeing any more declutters, maybe like 2. And that means that I will need to finish like 8 to 10 makeup products for the rest of the year. And not only that, but that also assumes that I'm not bringing any new makeup products into my collection. If I bring like 3 more makeup products in, then that means that I will have to pan 13 rather than 10. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be tough. And I'm already thinking like, okay, what are the products that I know for sure I will finish? So there's the Merit highlight. There's the MAC powder. Like what else? Hopefully this Istanbul lip product, which is refusing to die. I can think of a few products, but are there 10? I just don't know. So I'm definitely more optimistic than I was at the end of 2024, but I'm not sure. We're just gonna have to see how it goes. And again, a lot depends on if any new products come into my collection before the end of the year. But that is my video. That is my category by category breakdown of all the products in my makeup collection, how closely those categories align with my goals, my dream makeup collection, and how the numbers compare to previous years. Obviously, I'm overall happy. It is overall going down, but quite slowly. But it's very gratifying to see the numbers and to be able to compare to not just last year, but the year before that. And I look forward to tracking this in future years to see how my numbers change over time and also how my preferences change over time in the kind of products that I want in my collection and the kind of categories that I actually need to keep in this spreadsheet. But that is it for today's video. I'm not going to talk about a book that I've been reading lately because I've been recording for so long, but thank you so much. And I would love to hear what your dream makeup inventory looks like and if it is bigger than mine, smaller than mine. But yeah, I'll talk to you next week. Bye. Fun fact, this earring fell in the toilet this morning as I was getting ready. Fun times. These have officially been relegated to earrings that I can't really wear out of the house. They're essentially just for filming. But, you know, that's something. At least I occasionally get to wear them.